Tonight, Jimmy Kimmel returns to late night. We'll hear what students have to say about Disney's decision to bring him back.
USC has cut 2 of its degree programs. Find out which ones next.
And a USC alum is headed to space and maybe even Mars.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Jimmy Kimmel will be back on ABC tonight, but not on dozens of stations. Hi, I'm Sebastian Soto.
I'm Lizzy Brunn. Kimmel's suspension sparked a national discussion about free speech.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them.
Those were the comments that landed late-night host Jimmy Kimmel in hot water. But after just a week off the air, Disney announced the show will be returning to ABC starting tonight.
I think that it's a great thing that he's back because it's reinforcing the idea of free speech. When the show was canceled, that it really brought a lot of questioning to the American people about what our rights are.
Well, it honestly says a lot about the country, and specifically who is in power in our government. Especially, I think just says a lot about censorship and where we might be going in this administration, and personally that's very scary for me.
I think it's good that Jimmy Kimmel's back. I think it's important to have free speech here and not censor the media.
Although Kimmel will return tonight, not every station will air the show. Sinclair owns nearly 40 ABC affiliate stations and has announced it will be replacing the show with news programming. Nexstar owns roughly 30 ABC affiliates and has also announced it will not air Kimmel's return tonight. Also, in a survey on the topic of free speech, the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression found that USC ranked 216 out of only 257 colleges. The survey gave USC an F for its overall grade. This is actually better than last year, when USC was only 12 spots away from last place in the rankings.
You know, not what us here at the journalism school want to be hearing. In other USC news, the School of Dramatic Arts has been forced to eliminate both the master's and undergraduate technical direction programs as USC faces university-wide budget cuts.
This is obviously a really challenging time, both for higher education and the entertainment industry. Even in ordinary times, we regularly assess our degree programs in terms of student demand, in terms of relevance to the industry, and in terms of impact on the field that the programs are making. But I know that change is really hard, and so we've really had a lot of conversations with our community.
We spoke to one SDA student who said the school has already been experiencing the impact of budget cuts. A fully staged production was reduced to just a staged reading.
It's definitely hard and frustrating to experience budget cuts in any form. It's never good, and it's obviously really sad to see layoffs and have programs being cut. I definitely think we as students should fight against it as much as we can. But I like to believe that they are doing the best that they can given the circumstances, as frustrating as it is.
These cuts follow a wave of cost-saving measures, including layoffs and other departmental cuts, leaving students uncertain about what will be next to go.
And in more funding news, a federal judge has ordered UCLA's medical research grants restored. This comes after the Trump administration froze the funding in the summer.
I studied nursing. So I'm all about holistic healthcare and how the government can help.
The science that we do here is so important, and it's not politicized at all, and it's just really frustrating.
Students on campus talked about the importance of research funding, and a UCLA nurse says recent rulings from the Trump administration have hurt the university.
We're at a turning point in the country about what we are. Are we a federal country where we have more laws nationally, or we're just a country made of 50 states?
While UCLA's research grants were restored, many other schools in the UC system will still have to battle their funding restrictions in court. And the new U.S. News and World Report National University Rankings have been released, and USC has dropped from 27th to 28th.
I feel like this is a top 10 university research-wise, so I feel like it's a little low than what I would expect, but overall I feel like the top 50 universities are still really good, and being 28 is nothing to be ashamed of.
I think that's really fair because I think this is a beautiful school and it has an amazing education system, and I've been really enjoying my classes and just the general atmosphere of the campus.
Over the years, USC has gradually climbed in the rankings, breaking into the top 20s in the late 2000s. The highest ranking came in 2018 when USC ranked 21st. Since then, the numbers have dropped slightly. Despite USC's slight drop from 27th to 28th in rankings this year, the university continues to see record demand. The number of first-year applicants rose by about 20,000 from the 2018 admission cycle to the most recent 2024 cycle.
President Trump spoke about several topics in today's UN General Assembly meeting, including climate change, after many U.S. allies formally recognized a Palestinian state.
It's the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world, in my opinion. Climate change, no matter what happens, you're involved in that. No more global warming, no more global cooling. All of these predictions made by the United Nations and many others, often for bad reasons, were wrong.
Trump described climate change as the, quote, greatest con job to a room of U.S. allies that expressed their commitment to green energy and sustainability. Temperatures have been rapidly on the rise as 2024 was the warmest year since records began in 1850, nearly 2.5 degrees hotter than the average of the 20th century. The first Trump administration withdrew the U.S. from the Paris Climate Agreement. He also signed an executive order to remove the U.S. funding for UN climate summits. In more USC-related news, NASA just announced its latest class of astronauts, and a USC Viterbi alum is on the list. Catherine Spies competed with more than 8,000 applicants for the coveted spot.
It's always so inspiring to see the shuttles come in for landing and wonder what it would take for me to be there one day. I got a spam call, and like all of you, I wouldn't normally pick that up, but it was all ones, which was odd. And so I did, and it was the team, and I remember sitting down on my top step and trying not to black out.
Spies is one of the only 10 candidates accepted into NASA's highly competitive 2025 astronaut class. 6 out of the 10 new astronauts are women. The USC alum has a degree in chemical engineering from Viterbi and a master's in design engineering from Harvard. In the Marines, she learned to fly more than 30 different aircrafts. USC students said they're inspired by Spies and the other candidates.
The news that we have a Trojan astronaut, or one in the making, is really inspiring.
I feel like the future is female. Of course, I'm biased, but I just feel like women are so powerful, and it's about time that the world starts recognizing that. So I think I'm not surprised at all. Women are amazing.
It really is inspiring that she came from USC and that she was able to accomplish that.
For the next 2 years, they'll be trained in robotics, land and water survival, spacewalks, and medicine to prepare them for missions to the moon and Mars.
What a cool story. Coming up, we'll show you where you can get a COVID booster.
And health experts respond to President Trump's claims that Tylenol is linked to autism.
And we take a look at how Jewish students are celebrating Rosh Hashanah.
USC Campus Health announced that COVID-19 boosters are now available to students at the USC Pharmacy.
All of the vaccines are being offered with the USC Student Health Center, so students can schedule immunization appointments or look for the flu and U vaccine fairs that are happening across campus. Students can also receive their vaccines at the USC pharmacies.
Students should have the option of getting it, no question about it. You know, a student could say, hey, listen, I have good immunity, I don't want it, and there's nothing wrong with that.
According to the CDC, vaccines reduce your risk of critical illness, being hospitalized, and developing long COVID.
Vaccinations are really important to protect everyone, and it really provides an avenue for people, especially people who are immunocompromised. It provides them with an extra layer of security.
I definitely think that it would encourage students to
get the vaccine, which I think is definitely positive.
I do think it's important, especially because we still see cases. Like, even though it's not as widespread, it's still out there. It might not be as major as the flu, but it's still something that you want to keep safe from. And when you get vaccinated, you're helping keep other people safe.
COVID continues to pose a threat, causing millions of illnesses and tens of thousands of deaths each year. It was the 10th leading cause of death in 2023. Let me tell you, I'm going to go schedule my COVID booster.
And so will I. President Trump now claims that the use of acetaminophen during pregnancy is linked to autism. That's the medication found in Tylenol.
There is not a solid scientific basis for this. Of course, we always need to be open for understanding, but it's important to understand that the causes of autism are very complex. And then also it keeps us from continuing the really important work of understanding the causes and the treatment for autism.
Trump announced Monday the FDA will notify doctors to inform their patients. He says the government will recommend that pregnant women limit Tylenol use unless medically necessary, such as to treat a high fever. Tylenol is considered the only safe over-the-counter pain reliever during pregnancy. Studies show that others, like ibuprofen and aspirin, can increase the risk of complications.
Rosh Hashanah began at sundown last night, the start of the new year in Judaism. USC Hillel is holding High Holy Day services on campus for students.
So Rosh Hashanah is one of the high holidays for the Jewish people. It's our new year. Similar to how we have New Year's resolutions, it's an opportunity to start anew.
So this is the shofar. This is what I blew in services today. We blow it during the high holidays, at the end of Rosh Hashanah services, and then also at the end of Yom Kippur. So it's just, I don't know, it's a cool thing.
USC Hillel has a series of events this week to celebrate the new year. The High Holy Days are a time of reflection and will close next Thursday with Yom Kippur and a day of remembrance.
And it's a beautiful evening at USC for those celebrating Rosh Hashanah and for anyone starting off the fall season. Ian, what can we expect for the rest of the week?
Thank you, Sebastian. I'll tell you what, today and tomorrow are going to be beautiful days to bring in the Jewish New Year and also bringing in that new season. Happy Tuesday, y'all. Yesterday was the first official day of fall, even though it felt like summer, reaching 90 degrees on campus today. But don't worry, because temperatures will be falling very soon. Let's take a current look at conditions outside. Currently it is 79 degrees with some humidity sticking around at 60%. Now let us dive into the 5-day forecast. Starting tomorrow, the cool down will start with, and it'll be 83 with a low of 67 with a low pressure system coming around the area. And we finally see a couple highs in the 70s coming in Friday and Saturday at 78 and 79 respectively. Rounding off the weekend, it's going to be beautiful out there. Partly cloudy, hovering around the low 80s. That was meteorology with Maile, checking weather on the daily. You know what, Tony? This is my favorite season weather-wise, but it's also my favorite season for sports, especially football and those great fall matchups. And we got one of those taking place early at 9 a.m. this Saturday against Illinois. Tell me about it, Tony.
Those are the birds migrating, by the way. I'm really excited, but one thing that makes me a little nervous is wide receiver Jacoby Lane will probably be watching from the sidelines for a while, and Lincoln Riley is going to tell us more about it. But the team that seems to be doing good so far and coming up, we'll chat about how our other good team is doing good at women's volleyball. And later we'll take a peek at men's water polo as a team from overseas is coming to town to play USC for their exhibition game. All of that live and local coming up.
Welcome back to ATVN Sports. I'm Chrysostomou.
And I'm Tony Senhaji. Head coach Lincoln Riley gave us an update on Jacoby Lane after he didn't play against the Spartans. Here's what he said when asked, when will Lane come back?
I would say still inconclusive right now. Honestly, it was something that kind of popped up middle of the week from the game that was a little bit unexpected, but yeah, we're just gonna have to see how it goes. It's not a, I don't think it'll be super long, but at the same time, I certainly can't sit here today and say he's for sure gonna play, next week or in the coming weeks.
Jacoby Lane and Makai Lemon have been a dynamic scoring duo so far for the Trojans. They both have stuffed the stat sheets trading games where one or the other has a game of over 100 yards. Lemon routing up and cutting up defenders, exploding for big plays, and Lane using his athletic frame to dominate the end zone for insane catches. But now life's given Makai lemons. Can he continue to make lemonade? Take a look at their stats. Granted, Lane was out for a game, but you can tell that they're both some of the scariest and toughest scouting reports for opposing teams to plan against. Lucca, who do you think was or is the most important receiver on this team for us to compete?
You know, I appreciate Jacoby Lane and all his spectacular catches, definitely do, and we'll miss him. But what I'm grateful for is Makai Lemons still being out there, carrying our air raid offense. I think he is the best wide receiver, at least in the Big Ten. Can we all agree on that?
Yeah, he's really nice. I mean, I will say, to your point, he's probably the better true receiver where that he can use his just pure talent to just kind of route up defenders. But come on, man, Jacoby Lane, he's a red zone monster. So, granted, Lemon did really good, but let's see if he can keep it up against Illinois.
We'll see.
Hopefully, Lemon can hold it down this Saturday when the Trojans played the Fighting Illini for an early morning kickoff at 9 a.m. Pacific time.
Let's take it from the field to the court, as the USC women's volleyball team has been absolutely on fire to start their season.
Really forcing that serve receive, have their platform to perfection.
Oh, nothing wrong with that connection.
The women of Troy extended their win streak to 4 games in a row on Sunday with an emphatic 3-1 win over the Cal Golden Bears. After the game, head coach Brad Keller emphasized his big goals for this season's squad.
I was hired to compete and win national championships. So everything that we talk and do and act is going to be about what that is. So it's not a surprise for us. It's taken some time, but I think we're starting to play the volleyball and the brand and style that we need to play. And I think there's been a lot of people before here that's helped guide us and get us to where we need to be.
Women's volleyball starts conference play this Friday at Penn State, where they will aim to improve on their 9-1 record with newly crowned Big Ten Freshman of the Week, Reese Messer.
USC men's water polo is currently ranked 2nd in the United States, but tomorrow their opponent is from China. The water polo team comes from Shanghai, China. Here you can see how they fared against the University of the Pacific yesterday. They lost 15-13, looking to bounce back against USC tomorrow. USC men's water polo plays them at home before a very long away schedule heading into October. They play UOP as well on Friday, and later they'll be marching through teams hoping UCLA, who's ranked number 1, bumps down for us to claim the number 1 spot. USC doesn't come back home until they face off against Princeton mid-October.
And to cap off sports today, we will be introducing our weekly segment, No Huddle. Tony and I will ask each other one question, and we will each have 15 seconds to answer before our producers cut us off.
Yep.
So, Tony, my question to you is, the LA Rams blew a 19-point lead to the Philadelphia Eagles this past Sunday. Do you think this absolute catastrophe says more about the Rams' shortcomings or the Eagles' strengths?
Okay, it's absolutely the Rams' fault that they lost that game, but I will say that A.J. Brown coming down from 19 was super important for the Eagles. So it's a mixture of both, but also you got to give it to the special teams.
My fantasy opponent had A.J. Brown, so my thoughts pretty clear. Do you think Clayton Kershaw deserved the sympathy? Okay, your question to me.
My question to you, you almost finished it for me. Do you think Clayton Kershaw deserved the sympathy call from the Empire on his final career strikeout? Come on, tell me.
Do I think he deserved it? Well, MLB umpiring is pretty bad. But I do think Clayton Kershaw, being the absolute Dodger legend he is, deserved the call.
Good.
Deserved the call, Tony.
Good. All right. Glad we got that decision. And that's all the time that we have for No Huddle. I'm Tony Senhaji.
Make sure to tune in to ATVN Sports on Tuesday next week for more from your favorite sports anchors. I'm Lucca Chrysostomou. Lizzy, what do you have for us?
I've got a great catch that no one's quite sure if it should count or not. Up next, we'll hear about a journey of...
Tonight, we begin a new segment called Guided by Purpose. Reporter Drew Richmond shows us how talent and experiences can take you in a whole new direction. Drew?
All aboard! Welcome in, my people in purpose. While we're together, we'll learn about making the tough choices that move us closer to the life we were meant to live. The first passenger we're going to be talking about on this journey is none other than your boy, Drew Richmond. This game was a turning point in my career. I was playing for Tennessee and I was named MVP. However, a picture of my coach yelling at me for a penalty is what went viral. And oh boy, did the fans turn on me. But my coach was saying, son, I love the way you're playing, all right? But you gotta keep it cool, we need you. This taught me to trust my intuition, believe in my skills, and ignore all that criticism. With that confidence, the breezy palm trees of LA called Drew to USC. My teammates and coaches accepted me, big and loud from Memphis. USC was where I learned to blend who I was on and off the field. When I finally reached my dream of playing pro football, I realized that was no longer my dream. So for now, I'll be telling stories and highlighting great people like you, guided by purpose.
Thank you, Drew. I mean, what a great story. I mean, I'm feeling inspired. What about you, Lizzy?
Me too, very inspired. Excited to see who's next to find out their story of guided by purpose.
Absolutely. I want to get out of the studio and go run or do something. I don't know. Drew got me all fired up.
I'm feeling inspired, ready to live and find my purpose that I'm guided by.
That's the lesson today, is to find your purpose. Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone here at Annenberg Media, I'm Sebastian Soto.
And I'm Lizzy Brunn. For more coverage, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time. Good night.